Let's move on and let's talk about trimming. Now, inside of Premiere, trimming is referred to as the ripple edit tool and the rolling edit tool. The reason I want you to become familiar with the term trim is because trim is what it's referred to in other applications like Avid Media Composer. So how does trimming, or in this case, a ripple edit, work? A ripple edit is going to take either the incoming or outgoing frame and it's going to move it down the timeline, and by doing that it's going to push or pull all of the other clips down the timeline accordingly. Let me show you what I mean. In this case, we're going to assume that the outgoing clip ends too soon and I'd like to extend it down, and by doing that push all of the other clips down the timeline. I'm going to select the ripple edit tool, and you'll notice that as I hover it over the edit, we can choose either the outgoing frame or the incoming frame. In this case, I'm going to choose the outgoing frame, and I'm simply going to click and push the clip farther down. And by extending this first clip, it's going to extend the clip and push everything else down the timeline. Now, if I wanted this second clip to start sooner, I'm going to take this clip. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pushing it back down the timeline to extend the shot and have the shot start sooner, and by doing that and letting go, it's going to make the second shot longer and push everything else down the timeline. Now, what I'd also like to do is add a few clips to other layers, because this is where we're going to start getting into some other concepts that are important to understand. I'm just going to place a clip here, and let's place one last clip up on video track number 3. Now what I'm going to do is just push everything down just a little bit to about here. And let's do that ripple command again. We're going to again select the ripple edit tool. I'm going to select the outgoing frame and I'm going to start adjusting it and pushing everything down. Now in this case, what it's done is it's made that adjustment onto video track 1, but the 2 shots on video tracks 2 and 3 haven't moved, and that's not what I want. When I do this command, I want to push everything down the timeline. Well, the reason that everything didn't get pushed down the timeline was because I didn't have my sync locks turned on. Let's just undo what I just did. I'm going to turn the sync lock on for both of those tracks, and now when I do the exact same command and I push everything down, everything moves down the track that has the sync lock command turned on. Now, let's talk about the rolling edit tool, which is the next tool right here. This is an overwrite command, basically meaning that once I make an adjustment, it's not going to push anything down the timeline. It's only adjusting the incoming and outgoing heads of each one of these shots. So all I'm going to do is move over the edit, simply click and drag, and once I move that and let go, it's adjusted the outgoing frame and made this shot longer, and by doing that, it's made the next shot shorter. So remember, a ripple command, much like with a ripple delete, is going to push everything down the timeline, or conceivably pull it back down the timeline depending on which way you move the tool. And the rolling edit tool is simply going to take that edit point and it's going to roll it either forwards and backwards and not do anything else to any of the other clips in your timeline.